What's going on, guys? Jake T's latest Mustang automotive news. Today's video is about the 2015 Mustang GT, and I owned it for 7 years. So today we're just going to go over and do a review of everything that I experienced from driving and owning the 2015 Mustang GT for 7 years. So basically, that car wasn't as good as I wished it was. It was awesome in 2015 to have a brand new 2015 Mustang. The independent suspension came out. It was a redesigned body. The interior was new. Everything about it, it was black, performance package, 373 gears, everything like this. I mean, it was legit. It was a lot of fun. But it wasn't that, it didn't have that much more horsepower. The 10-speed auto wasn't out yet either. Was it a great car? It was a freaking awesome car for what it was. Here's some of the problems that were wrong with the 2015 Mustang GT. So there was the water pump failed at, like, I don't know, 35,000 miles. The clutch was great. The transmission, I had no problems with the clutch or the transmission. The rear end clunked a little bit when you're getting it in and out of gear. All in all, it did burn a lot of oil. So it went through about a quart. The first 10,000 miles on the 2015 Mustang GT, it went through about a quart of oil every, like, 1,500 miles. So if you actually did the 10,000 mile interval, like the first 10,000 miles, you would have ran out of oil almost. There would have been like 3 quarts left or something crazy like that. I'm not going to do the math, but essentially that car burned through oil like crazy. So eventually, like, the motor got tightened up a bit and it didn't burn through oil as bad. Look, the exhaust was really quiet. It didn't have much balls. Those things were best if you just supercharged it or turbocharged it or put some nitrous on it. I mean, it was what it was. Like, all right, think about it. A 2015 Mustang GT. I mean, it was awesome at the time. It had single exhaust, and the exhaust was so quiet. And it's a great car. I'm not saying it's not a great. It's a great car. It is a really, really great car. But the leaps and bounds that they made to the 18, to the current gen, and all these stuff, it just kept getting better and better and better. The suspension on the 2015, they were just like figuring it out. It was very soft. You could hit the brakes and it would nosedive a bit. The front springs were really soft, and it undulated. Like, if you're going down the 405 and you're hitting those bumps on the highway, it would literally kind of rock. So, okay, so if I had a 2015, here's what I would do: do an aftermarket exhaust, do a shifter and a shift knob, shift knob, do an aftermarket exhaust, and do some springs, and you're good to go. Like, on that car, those are like the 3 things that you needed to do to get it to where it was actually fun to drive. And then after that, if you wanted to make it fast, you just have to do a supercharger or turbocharger or something like that. So overall, it was a great car, but the leaps and bounds that they made for the 18, it went from 435 horsepower to 460. And I think it doesn't sound like it's a big jump. And then on top of that, if you add the 10-speed auto, that's an even bigger torque multiplier with that transmission. So a first gen 2015 versus like an 18 with the 10-speed, and this is a manual, I mean, it would just eat its lunch. And it felt that way. I remember driving an automatic 18 convertible with the performance package, 10-speed auto, and it probably had 87 octane gas in it. And I was with what's up, True Southern? And I took off from a red light, and man, that thing just roasted the tires through first and second gear. It was so much faster than my 15 that I had at the time. But yeah, the Mach 1 is just leaps and bounds ahead of they basically took the 15 is just the base model. That's where you start, like the scratch, drawing board. And then from there, the 18, they upgraded the motor, the transmission, and then they did the 350R, and they took all those parts and everything, and they put that on the Mach 1, right? And then there's the GT 500, and they're using all that stuff over here. But that was where it all started, was the 15. And I know they're already working on the 350, 2014, 2013, the GT350, and putting it all together. And what a great car, though, the S550. Um, yeah, the S550 Mustang is just, it's you can upgrade it, you can put tons of parts on it, and they look good, they sound good, they're affordable, and that's why I've always liked them. Yeah. As far as reliability, it burns a lot of oil. If go buy a new Mustang and see if you're burning oil, some of them. I know my 15 went through a lot of oil really fast. I didn't even change the front brake pads. I had that car for like 35,000 miles before. I only drove it 35,000 miles or 40, I think 45,000 miles in the first 7 years I owned it. And then I traded it in for the Mach 1. I think I bought it for 39 and then I traded it in and I got 30. So I only lost 9,000, and I didn't pay cash for it. I financed. So really over those 7 years, I didn't even lose, you're paying a couple $100 a month for that car because it was at the end of COVID. So, I didn't lose that much money from doing that deal. So yeah, that's fun. It's a great car, man. I would go drive one. What else? Is there? The reliability, the transmission, the motor, the paint and body, the alignment, the panel alignment. That's probably the biggest thing a lot of people complain about is the panel gaps and alignment on the Mustangs are not always that great. So, like on the Mach 1, it's rubbing when you open and close the door. So there's that. When the water pump blew up on the steam everywhere, there was a warning. You could hear the water pump wobble. You could hear it chipping and wobbling and all this stuff. And I limped it home without overheating it. And then I ordered a water pump off of Levittown, and I got it for, actually I didn't get it, they were out of stock. I got a water, you can get a water pump for like $75. And I put it in my garage with some basic hand tools. So for the water pump, that was the biggest failure on the 2015. After 7 years driving it, it only left me stranded once, and it was from the water pump. The other thing was like a battery. The battery was, you need to replace the battery. But the water pump, you could hear it. It was a manual transmission, the 2015. You could hear the water pump making some noise, but it sounded like a throwout bearing. When a throwout bearing is going out in like a Fox body Mustang or something, you can hear it when you push in the clutch. You can hear it. That's what it sounded like. It sounded like a throwout bearing was going bad or something. And then sooner or later, I was at the park with a client, and I started up, and steam and smoke went everywhere. So that's really the only time that it left me stranded. And the way I got it home was, I knew that I didn't have any water in the motor from it overheating and spewing everywhere. So I just kind of limped it home. I had someone follow me back to the house, and I would drive until I could see the temp gauge getting up. I drive about half a mile, pull over for 10 minutes, drive half a mile, pull over. And I got it home, and I ordered a water pump. And I think that's all you had to do. I didn't even change the belt because the belt only had 30,000 miles on it, something like that. I literally don't think I changed the belt. I just swapped on a new water pump. Took me an hour and a half. I think I've got a water pump video on my channel. And it was $75. So that was it. What else can I say? The headlights were all good. There was nothing. A couple people hit the car. Like someone backed into the car once or twice or 3 times. Someone kicked it. The air conditioned seats, didn't work all that great, but they weren't too bad. They weren't amazing. The Recaros on the Mach 1 are really, you feel like you're in a race car. Okay. The Mustang, you can't really compare the Mustang 2015 GT to the 21 Mach 1. They're not really comparable. The Mach 1 it has the Recaros. It does not have the air conditioned seats. That's one of the things. But back to the 2015, a lot of people complained about the air conditioned seats not working that well. And it was just kind of a dog. Like it needed a few things for it to run that great. It definitely needed like a shifter. It wasn't mandatory to have a shifter, but I think it would make it feel a lot better. The other thing would be springs. Definitely do springs if you got a stock 2015. shifter, do an exhaust because stock they're really quiet. And then if you actually want it to go fast, you're going to have to probably do, like an E85 tune or supercharge, something like that in order, you could do headers in E85 and that'd probably be pretty dang fast. But honestly, no exhaust quite as good for Mustang. Yeah. I mean, look, here's what's good is the Mach 1 has the quiet mode exhaust. So if I want to start the car quiet, I can start it quiet. And if I want to leave the apartment complex quiet, I can start it. That's what I prefer. So I also don't like a super loud car all the time. And that's why that was one of the main features I actually wanted with the Mustang was to actually just have a quiet mode. That was like a primary feature that I liked was be able to go from quiet to loud as hell whenever I wanted to. But then literally go back to quiet. Like if I wanted to just creep in the neighborhood, or sometimes it's actually fun to drive the Mach 1 in quiet mode because you can hear the induction noise. It's all motor. You hear all the motor. The exhaust has a nice tone. It's not loud, like raspy, loud. And you can creep around and you can just, mob around with quiet mode. And it still is super fast, super fun to drive with the quiet mode. Now, honestly, I don't see any reason to mess with the stock exhaust on the Mach 1. If you're talking about if you're talking about like how about that? What do you think about that? Yeah, if you're talking about like the exhaust on I'm talking about the exhaust on a 2015. The exhaust on the 2015 is super, super quiet. But the push button exhaust and the dampers that change, all that adjustability didn't come in until 2018. And you couldn't even get a 2018. How's the audio? Can you guys hear me? Hit the thumbs up if you can hear me okay. You couldn't get the adjustable suspension to the GT350, and then the Mach 1 is when you could in the GT500. So the exhaust was way, way, way quiet. I changed the exhaust on the 2015 like 4 or 5 times. I went through the Borla Sport, what's up, Rich? What's up, Gym 3 Cameron? The Borla, okay, the audio is good. Borla Sport, the Borla Touring, and then I did the Sport mufflers with the Borla Touring mid muffler instead of the X pipe. So I've got all that stuff. If anybody wants it's like a dual in, dual out Borla center muffler for that exhaust. It just makes it replaces the factory canister there. And but honestly, it's just a big muffler. It makes it quiet. So I don't even know if you have a stock exhaust, putting the Borla center section muffler on there doesn't actually help out that well. Yeah, it was look, it was good for what it was, but then if you go drive an 18 or if you drive a Mach 1 or you drive something, there's just such better cars out there. It was a great car for those 7 years. I probably should have swapped it out and got an 18 sooner. But I enjoyed like my personal training business was taking off. And like I'd never had a sports car or anything that I could actually like wash. And I wanted the black paint job that I could actually put wax on it. I wanted a Mustang that I could wax and the paint would actually come off. Yeah, the dollar per horsepower is hard to beat on the Mustang. Yeah, Corvette, the price is high on that one. Dollar bang for your buck is definitely Mustang. It's always been Mustang. That's why they sell so many of them. But yeah, I wanted a car that I could wax, basically. And thank you, brother. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, DG. Let me know if you have a question. Thank you for the tip, bro. Yeah, the 2015 was just my business was just starting, my personal training business, and I wanted to buy something that was actually like I could wax and it looked good. Look, I was looking at a BMW is what I was looking at, is like at an M6 or something like this. It was an automatic, a 5-year-old M6 twin turbo V8, about the same price. But then I wanted a manual transmission. and I couldn't find, and you can finance the brand new Mustang. So I was like, I'll just go ahead and I'll just finance this Mustang. It was like $500 a month. And there I was, like driving a new car, a new Mustang. That was like a dream of mine since I was a kid. So so that's kind of why I got into the 2015 and I stuck with it for that long. I had a little bit of loyalty because of it was like a souvenir. It was almost like a souvenir for my training business in Los Angeles. That's basically what it was. Um, Hey man, I bought a used 15 EcoBoost Premium Mustang last Saturday, 105,000 miles on it on Premium. I just got an engine light yesterday. Yeah, hit me up over on my Instagram and I'll help you. I'll try to help you sort it out personally. It's just Jake Teasler. I'm actually doing a live stream right now on my Instagram. But go over there, DG. Go over since you did the super chat. Go over, hit me up, add me, and then I'll try to help you out over there. Have you just taken the gas cap off and like burped it and put it back on? Take the gas cap on and off. That would be like the first thing I'd check. All right. Yeah, Camaro. Look, man, if somebody's local in Nashville and they want to let me, if they want to get smoked in a Mach 1, just let me know. Oh yeah. What am I talking about? The gas cap. Hit me up over on my Instagram. Let's do this. Yeah, if someone's ready to get smoked in a Camaro, no, the Camaro is a good bang for the buck. Yeah, bro, you gotta go. It's Jake Teasler, JakeTiesler on my Instagram, and then just send me a message and I'll chat with you over there about it. I'll try to help you figure it out. It's hard. It's just hard on live to go through like a diagnostics on all that stuff. 18 plus Mustang. Yeah, if someone's local, I would like to do a review on the channel of an 18 on a Camaro versus the Mustang. I've got the Mach 1 now. I wish I had the 15. The fifth, look, the Camaro 16 and up or whatever it is, with the better transmission, the 15 plus 15 to 18, 15 to 17 Mustang isn't really competitive with those cars. Yeah, I would totally race a Camaro with the Mach 1. Dude, I'm telling you, the Mach 1 is fast. I mean, like, I know it's not the fastest. It's just a Mach 1, but it's fast. It's fast. It's not slow, man. Yeah, so look, that code, I'll have to look up that code and do like some research on that, but it's probably an easy fix. I know. Oh, DG, here's another thing, man. Here's what I looked up. You probably have the same thing I did. And I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember, bro. Thank you, brother. Make sure you add me over there and say what's up. I'm trying to think. So I did have this is a good reminder for me. So in the 2015, I did have an evap issue, and I'm trying to think how I fixed it. There was a sensor, and I believe it is between the throttle body and the air box. And there is some type of a sensor that needed to be replaced. And I don't remember the code, or I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I can go through the records and I'll try to find it for you. If anybody remembers, it's a common, if you look on the message boards, it's a common issue with the 2015 to 2017. I don't know if it's on the EcoBoost also, but I'll help you get it sorted out, man. It's probably not that big of a deal. P1450, if anybody wants to Google that right now while we're so that's another issue. So those were the two biggest issues. But here's another issue. So there's the evap thing with the 2015 Mustang. There was the water pump, and then there was also the reverse camera. That was a common thing that happened. the reverse camera would go on and off. So the reverse camera would go on and off, and once it went off, it never came back on. And I was gonna make a video of on like taking the wires out. I think what happened on the 2015 the reverse camera, the wires get pinched, and that's pretty much it. I think you can go in there and rewire the reverse camera to get it working. So overall, we've got the water pump that'll go bad. You've got there is like a emissions related thing between the throttle body, and I think that's what you're talking about, DG. But I'll get back to you over on my Instagram about that. And then the reverse camera was a thing. The reverse camera just kind of goes out. The body panel alignment issues. There's some body panel alignment issues. I never like changed the plug. I just changed the oil regularly. The clutch was always good. I never changed out the like the spark plugs or anything like that. It was literally just change the water pump and just do some. The front brake pads were still on there. All the brakes still worked on the 2015 when I got rid of it. I changed the tires a couple times, 45,000 miles. Other than that, that's really it. It was a fun car for what it was, but they made the car so much better as the years went. And now that thing is just crazy. The Mach 1 and the GT500, the GT350, and even the 18 up just Mustang is amazing. They're great cars. So if you want one-on-one coaching, I do personal training. Link is in the description. Also, I got the Land Cruiser. I just put wheels and tires on the Land Cruiser. Window shade. I did LEDs on the headlights, the fog lights, LEDs on the interior. I did Sewell, or I did these for the windows, the visors, and I got the A-track. I got the lockers working on the Land Cruiser. So the freaking lockers are working. It's not real lockers. It's ABS controlled, traction control. So it'll actually go off road. So you don't get hung up if two wheels are in the air. It doesn't just sit there and spin. It actually will break them. And go watch that video. It's really fun to go off-roading in that thing now. And then I got the Sequoia too. I need to do like a drag race of like the Sequoia versus the Land Cruiser. But if somebody wants to get smoked, like JR over there on Instagram, bring your ass to Nashville with your Mustang. No, somebody was talking about it with a Camaro in the comments. I just bought a 19 Mustang GT. Love it. Can't wait to mod it. Yeah, man, they're fast. My dealer's trying to get me trade it. You've got a Heritage R, bro. That is Rich. That is you guys add me over there on Instagram so I can catch up with you guys' car, and I can sort out who's who. King David just bought a 19 Mustang GT. DG, the miles per gallon. All right, DG, I got you over there on Instagram. The mile per gallon went from 27 to now at 25, 24. It's an emissions related thing, and I guarantee you it's probably the same sensor that went bad on my 2015. I know, Sequoia giveaway, right? Look, man, the Sequoia is like you ever have one of those cars that are just like a piece of junk? They're real ugly. Like it's embarrassing to pull up somewhere in it. But man, it's only got like 260,000 miles on it. And it starts up every time. Well, the battery's dead right now, but it starts up like every time. And it's got some junky Flowmaster, but it still sounds good because it's a Sequoia. That 4.7 V8, the Toyota V8. And it's got four-wheel drive. And it's like you paid $3,500 for it, but why would you sell it? You know, like you're going to get $3,500 back, but it's a four-wheel drive truck that has a ton of space inside, and it'll pull a boat, and it'll do pretty much anything you want a four-wheel drive truck to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's almost like there's no sense of selling it, but giving it away. Should we like lift it and put like crazy, put a turbocharger on it or something? I have a Heritage R. Yeah, Rich has got a Heritage R. That's sick. Her name's Charlotte. We're stuck inside till spring. Yeah. Well, I hope you have a warm home for Charlotte, and you've got a nice fireplace. You guys like my fake fireplace over here? Keeping us warm. And then my Silverback. This is my homie. Yeah. I'll tell you another car that people, it doesn't make sense to have it here. Charlotte is in the heated garage. Very good. Right now, Mustangs, I just have one Mustang right now. I've just got the 21 Mach 1 with the handling package, with the 10-speed auto, with the Recaro seats, with the B&O premium system. I just took it. Yeah, I just took it out to Trader Joe's to get some errands and drive around the city like a hoodlum for a little bit. And it's about 37 degrees and it's slippery out there. That I turned the trash control off when I was leaving Trader Joe's, and it hit second and just yeah. The Recaros are nice. I would definitely like to drive a Heritage GT350R. Oh, did any of you guys play Gran Turismo 7 on PS4? Because I want to start live streaming, and I guess I'll have to do a headset because I'm actually pretty good. I'm actually all right at racing online competitively against the online people. I don't know where I was going with that. With the Recaros. Oh, the reason I was saying is that because in this game they've got a 350R, and you take it on these actual courses on GT7, and it actually drives like a 350. It drives like a S550, and it sounds like a GT350R, and it responds in the way, the handling characteristics I can tell compared to the Mach 1, that it handles like exactly like a 350R would. I mean, it looks like it is a 350R. It drives like it sounds like. It's pretty amazing, and the track is laser cut, so it's exactly the same. Yeah. After listening to that, I would literally like to drive a 350R. That manual driving, clicking through those gears, listen to the Voodoo engine. I would definitely like to do that someday. It's making me miss. I don't have a manual transmission car right now, so I would actually like to drive a manual transmission car now that I have the Land Cruiser, the Sequoia, and then the only thing with the manual transmission is the KTM, the dirt bike, right? Okay, I'll look you up. I'll look it up. Rich GT350R. Send me a follow over on my Instagram too. I don't want to click out of this screen because I'll lose you guys' responses. Wanted 17, I was able to negotiate 15. Yeah. I mean, you definitely don't want to pay what they're asking. And what color did you get? I don't need a sub. I don't do Instagram. Okay. Are you on the message boards? Yeah. 15K for nice. Look, I like the EcoBoost Mustangs. I think look, man, it's got a lot of torque. It's a cool. You're still in a Mustang. Look, man, the EcoBoost Mustang is like a Fox body Mustang. Do you know what a Fox body Mustang had? Like 275 torque, 225 horsepower. It was a little bit lighter, but man, an EcoBoost Mustang would eat its lunch. A Fox body Mustang, like walk it on the highway. The Fox bodies, you know how slow the Fox bodies were on the highway. What's up, Focus 200? The Fox bodies were slow on the highway, and they ran like garbage. I mean, I love the Fox body is what got me into Mustangs. When I was 12, I could hear the Flowmasters in the neighborhood, these kids with Flowmasters on their Fox bodies. And if you're lucky, you would hear someone with a cam running through those tailpipes on an LX with, forget about it. Like that was like the best sound. Like a B cam going through Flowmasters on a Fox body. That was like the best. But if you ever raced like a LS1 car, you you realize that like a Fox body's not fast, but you didn't have anything to compare it to because you're just like an 18-year-old kid, messing with cars. Or 16. I got a Fox body when I was 16. It's an 84 GT manual transmission. And I busted the rear end doing a burnout, shattered the rear end to chunks, to pieces. Um, and I put nitrous on my other ones. But anyways, Fox bodies are great, but they don't push through the wind. They don't have enough RPM and horsepower to push through the wind over like 90 miles an hour unless you have it modded. So I remember, you know, just really thinking you're doing something, and they just didn't have much horsepower up top, man, to push through the terrible aerodynamics of the Fox body. But man, they were fun for burnouts and slides and donuts and getting intro, and they sounded good. But then I got an 88 Turbo Supra for like $2,000, and man, the recessed door hand. I mean, like that's level of luxury that's like dark horses will be good. Yeah, the new Corvettes. I think Fat Men Drive Trucks. We're talking about the Corvette prices being crazy. All this stuff will come down with time, I was looking at the dark horse today, and I'm curious. Yeah, 7M life is rough. I had to drop a JDM 7M GT in the 88. But you know how good it is when you get that 7M running, all that torque of the 7M. As long as you don't put too big of a turbo on it. If you put too big of a turbo, then my buddy bought it and he put a SP61. It needed a lot of fuel and I just feel like the stock turbo on a 7M with a exhaust and a boost controller, 12 PSI, like a Lexus AFM or 550s, and the stock turbo, max that dude out. It makes a lot of torque, and it's actually pretty fun. Yeah, 06s are. I would like to drive a 06. Oh yeah, the DSM. I would love to. I would love a DSM. I mean, I don't have enough time to work on a DSM, but that's one of the cars I always wanted that I never got was a DSM, like just a cheap one. There's a guy selling a DSM for like $700 in Los Angeles Craigslist. It was like in the Valley. This is like 5 years ago, 7 years ago. I went to go see this $700 Mitsubishi Eclipse GST, or I think it was maybe a Talon. It was a front wheel drive, turbocharged manual transmission. It was $700. I swear to God, $700. Paint was terrible. Like, who knows how long this thing would have actually ran if I would have bought it. But man, dude, they're like, it's a lightweight little car, manual transmission, turbocharged. It felt light, felt nimble, felt quick. You hit the throttle, boost comes in, starts spinning the wheel. I mean, I guess you could have more fun on a dirt bike, but for $700, that was pretty much as good as it gets. But yeah, I'm sure that DSM for $700, that thing would have been overheating with a wiring issue within 3 days. All right, guys. Yeah, add me over there, Jake Teasler, on Instagram for all the Mustangs. Show me your Mustangs and say what's up over there. DG, I got you. Thanks for the super chat. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. There's some links below if you'd like to find out more. And catch you in the next video. Later, guys. Later, dude. Later, Rev 6.